Hi everyone, it's Raina. So this video is if you're a Taurus and the other person is a Taurus. And boy, that's very interesting because Taurus is a fixed earth sign. And so Taurus is the first earth sign. They're associated with the spring. I know some of you who live down under may be like, no, I'm not, May is the fall for me. But the idea is that Taurus is really about loving the good life. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is the goddess of love and beauty, so appreciating those kinds of things in life, the things that are beautiful to look at, beautiful to experience, the arts. So Taurus tends to have a beautiful speaking voice and just a love of luxury and being able to attract it. Venus is the attractor. Taurus rules the second house of earned income. So you get two Tauruses together, Taurians, if you will, and that's double your pleasure. And that means that you have somebody who is on the same page with you when it comes to that. So, for instance, if you are a Taurus and let's say you get together with a Capricorn, that person can be very into conserving money, at all costs and very disciplined, and they will never, they don't eat dessert or, and Taurus life is about dessert. You know what I mean? I have Taurus rising. I totally feel you guys. And just that really, I know that might sound superficial, but I think that's a huge deal when one person is like very self-denying in life, and I would say like that doesn't believe in material pleasures. I would say like Capricorn a lot of times can be very Spartan, and Virgo for the earth signs, even though you may get along with them and may have great relationships. Not saying that you could not have a good relationship, but there are certain signs like a fellow Taurus or a Leo or an Aries person that can give you, maybe even the Sagittarian, that's my sun sign, can give you license to kind of like be more indulgent, if you will, and not feel like you have to just kind of stay on the straight and narrow all the time when it comes to enjoying kind of the sensual side of life. That's what Taurus is about, the five senses. And so you have, I put down here a partner in crime in that area. Obviously I'm joking, but that person who's going to give you permission and is going to do it as well. There can be sexual compatibility, therefore, with both people because, earth signs, earthy, the body is not something that is controlled. It's like the body is a source of pleasure, whether it's during sex or eating, just the pleasure of food, eating for the enjoyment of it, not just, oh, this is healthy. And it's not to put down that at all. You can actually have both if you really, educate yourself. But having that ability to appreciate the way something tastes and not act like it doesn't matter how it tastes as long as it's good for you. That kind of like taking pleasure of the material things in life. And another thing is a chill vibe. Taurus doesn't want to make waves. Well, it depends, because if you have, let's say you have the moon in Aries or you have Mars in Aries, you might, or even Venus in Aries, you might have a little bit of that desire to kind of spice things up with a good fight, or maybe like Mercury in Gemini, a little bit argumentative to try to kind of get things going. But in general, Taurus loves to chill. I didn't put this down, but in that in a similar vein about talking about being an earth sign, a love of nature. That's a huge thing too, because another sign that is ruled by Venus is Libra. And Libran people tend to, I can't say this 100% of the time, but they don't tend to be the type of people that would enjoy camping. They might go glamping, glamour camping, but in general, like a Taurus person, very down to earth and wants to enjoy the pleasures of nature, and you have somebody who will be willing to do that with you. But that chill vibe, not wanting to just, also not being so type A where you just, some signs like Aries or Capricorn, or even Leo is very into their career and stuff like that, that they just are always trying to get in that achievement mode. You're perfectly capable and not one bit guilty about sitting on the couch and enjoying, a good movie or what have you. And that is something to behold. That is a joy to behold, because so many people feel like guilty about kicking back because they feel like they're a human doing instead of a human being. You know better, and you have somebody who's on the same page with you when it comes to that. Financially solvent. You might be somebody who doesn't mind spending money, but you still enjoy making it. And you may even enjoy saving it and having, money for a rainy day. Because you rule the area of earned income, the second house, you're going to have just a built-in ability to manage money in a very common sense sort of way. And that tends to bring more about you attract money. And here you have a partner who is the same. Money, they say money is the number one cause of conflict in relationships. That's what I've heard. I don't necessarily believe everything I hear, but still, it makes sense in a lot of ways because it can cause a lot of stress. So if you both like the good life, but you're still able to attract money, that's a good thing. Now let's talk about why the relationship may suffer sometimes. Both of you are fixed signs, stubborn as all get out. So you may, even though you may have a lot of things in common, you're not carbon copies of one another. So when one person wants to do one thing, the other person, no, I don't want to do that. It's digging in your heels. Two bulls, kind of like locking horns, if you will. And that can, if it gets serious enough, it can lead to not being able to resolve your differences and not being cooperative enough to go along with the other person. And that will always doom a relationship. So even though it doesn't come naturally to you guys, you have to have flexibility. The person who may have inner planets in Gemini, which is a mutable sign, may exhibit more of that flexibility. If neither one of you have it, then maybe that makes it much more difficult to actually put yourself in another person's shoes and be willing to, do what you can to make it happen and be care more about the relationship thriving than being right or having your way all the time, because nobody can have their way all the time. And so it's not like something that can doom the relationship unless you allow it to, is basically where I'm going with that. So, what else do we have here? The other thing is that if, you are somebody who likes a good life, you have, I mentioned a partner in crime, so you can reinforce each other's self-indulgence. So let's talk about that dreaded D word, the diet. I look at the word diet because I'm interested in holistic diets and things like that. I look at the word diet not as something that you do temporarily, but just what your habits are for the rest of your life. And so this is something that with Taurus, and I'm going to talk about also this other possible challenge with two Taurians being in a relationship together, is being set in your ways, getting into a rut because of that being the fixed modality. A Taurus person can find it very hard to change because they tend to stick with something over and over again. You're the builders of the zodiac, the fixed signs, and you're very good at doing something over and over again, day by day, and you're very patient in that. But sometimes you have to change course of action. That's where you might find that it becomes more difficult to kind of change certain habits because you're just used to doing the same thing all the time. And there's a comfort in that because it's familiar to you and you like the familiar. And that can keep you in a rut. And when I was talking about reinforcing self-indulgence, here you have two people who are like that. So it's very hard for either one to kind of say, hey, let's change our diet and let's start eating healthier. Or it could be, let's start exercising more. And let's not just get, we have a habit of eating dinner and then we sit on the couch for the rest of the night. Let's go out for a bike ride after dinner. And you have this person that you can build this new habit with. So it's entirely possible that you can actually help each other to reinforce positive habits, but both people have to be on the same page, obviously. So, so that's what I have for you, Taurus. I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you're interested in a relationship reading or any other type of reading that I offer, please visit me at rainamoonastrology.com. The link is below. Take care. Bye.